This is Julianne of Leaping Learns, and I want to talk about streaks in language learning. So, there's a lot of conversation around the pros and cons of streaks in language learning, right? So that can be your Duolingo streak, your Anki streak, whatever it may be. And I don't know that I've heard anybody talk about this, so this is just kind of a different way that you can think about streaks that may serve you better if right now your relationship might feel a little bit iffy. So I think there's an idea about habit building that gets lost along the way, and that idea is that when we're trying to build habits, we're not aiming necessarily to be perfect at it forever. Like, it's not the end goal to be perfect and to never falter. The goal of building a habit is to have it become such a part of your foundation of behavior that if life happens, which it does, when you break that streak, it's not a big deal, right? If you fall off the horse, if you need a week off for whatever reason, getting back into that habit isn't a big deal because it's just a behavior that you've built, right? So that's why, to me, streaks don't hold enough nuance necessarily. And I think people can lose the plot a little bit because, like, imprisoning yourself isn't the goal of habit building, right? Like, the goal is to be able to tolerate freedom. So I don't think self-control or self-discipline is meant to be like, I do this shit every single day no matter what because I am in a prison that I've created for myself. I don't know that that's actually helpful, right? Because then if you take it too far, then freedom becomes something to fear, right? And if you're fearing, like, oh shit, like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to my computer to do Anki or whatever, like, I'm going to have to cancel my plans. I'm going to have to rearrange. Like, I don't know if that's self-discipline or if that's self-imprisonment. And hopefully, if you've actually built a behavior up that is habitual, that missing a day isn't going to impact the next day. Because I think that fear of, like, oh, if I miss a day, it means I'm going to not do it again for like a month. That just means that the habit's not built up. And I don't think self-flagellation is a super healthy or effective way to build that up, because just creating habit based in fear and suffering, I mean, it can very quietly build up resentment, right? I'm not trying to tell people to not do streaks, okay? Like, obviously that works for some people. I'm just urging anyone who has an iffy relationship, if you feel imprisoned or if you feel scared or disgusted by streaks, either direction on the positive or negative spectrum, I think what has helped me is only viewing it as data. It's not data on which to judge myself. It's just data, period. And streaks are happening no matter what, even if you can't see them, even if you hide them away. The idea of the streak is happening somewhere in the background. You know, did you do something yesterday or did you not? And oftentimes these programs just show you the streak and you can't even necessarily hide it, right? And to me, when I see that streak, I am not looking for a perfect line of check marks, okay? When I look at my streak or lack thereof, I'm looking at those moments where there's nothing. I'm looking at those moments where it's blank, right? And I'm looking to see, do I come back to it? Because that's all that matters, right? The coming back. Because I can look at a point in my Anki streak or the heat map, whatever it is, and I can remember like, oh yeah, that month or that week was horrible. That was a horrible time. Imprisoning myself in completing a task every day was not beneficial to me. Like, that was not healthy for me. And I made a conscious decision to not prioritize doing this thing every single day. I made a decision for myself to take care of myself, to not do this thing every day. And because I made that decision and I'm not applying judgment or guilt to it, I am then more easily able to come back. And I see myself come back and I'm like, wow, that's fucking dope. I had that blank spot where I was not in a place to be doing this every single day. And when I was ready, I came back. And I think that's more beautiful than than a perfect streak. Because it's like, I don't want to force myself to do something every single day if that doesn't help me. Because I used to do that. I used to do that where I tried to force myself to do certain things every day, and then I would lead myself to burnout because I wasn't actually checking in on myself. I wasn't actually aware of what I needed for real. And because of that, I burnt out. I fell off the wagon and I didn't get back on the wagon. I didn't actually build a habit. I built enough fear and guilt to withhold a streak for a certain amount of time before abandoning it and pretending it never existed. So I just wanted to present that little take on streaks. If you have no issue with streaks, cheers. Like, that's very good. I just know that some people have more complicated relationship with streaks, and I used to be one of those people. And this is something that has helped me a lot in my mindset toward habit building and streaks. So I hope it was helpful for you as well. Let me know in the comments how you feel about your Anki streak or your Duolingo streak. If it's a healthy relationship, I'd love to know how your relationship is going and if it needs any work. That's all. See you later. If you liked this video about mindset around language learning, here are a couple other videos that maybe you would like too. If you hated this video, there's nothing I can do about that. I can't give you back this time, unfortunately.